Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of us rambling along. Um, First and foremost, two things I want to clear up. First, there was an apology. We forgot to mention Ollie from
Swansea.
From Swansea.
Shout out to Ollie.
Yeah, who actually helped to set up the Streetball Wales, the forum. The forum. Yeah. So it was him, Ollie,
Stoney,
Stoney,
Phil Warren.
and Phil
I
Warren.
was always under the impression that Phil Warren
I think
was
it's
the
those
lead.
four. Yeah, he's definitely on there. He's involved in it.
But in fairness, Ollie, you did message me saying that all you did was show up to the first meeting and then talk nonsense on the boards the rest of the time. So
That's the most important thing, though, chatting rubbish. Second thing, our controversial name is FK. Is because F stands for
Fluck.
and K stands for Khurram. That is how you pronounce my name, Khurram. Everybody calls me KC now.
Yes.
That's a new thing.
For a while, you were known as Jackie Moon.
Yeah,
Shout out to Semi Pro.
Yeah, Semi Pro the movie, but let's not talk about why it's called Jackie Moon.
Wrestling the beer.
Yeah, my earlier days. But yeah, Casey is what everybody knows me as now. It's Khurram's how you pronounce it, but everyone calls me Khurram or Casey or Mr. Chowdhury if we're doing.
I did say about maybe going for, instead of FK chat, FK boys, but then you had to get me to Google what that actually meant, and I realized quickly that doesn't describe either of us. So that wouldn't work.
No. Family men, professionals.
Exactly.
So we're back with another episode. It's the new year. New year, new me.
I want you to go first on this one.
Yeah, I asked the question. Go on.
New Year's resolutions.
What do you think about New Year's resolutions? First and foremost, have you got any New Year's resolutions?
No, definitely not.
Okay. How do you feel about New Year's resolutions?
I feel like this is probably going to be the most controversial opinion I have on here. I don't want to upset people, but if a New Year's resolution can be the stimulant for some positive change for people out there, then good for them. Good for them.
Say what you feel, man. Stop being like...
I feel like you shouldn't need an arbitrary external thing to try and make some positive change, whether it's in your world or
hippie, man.
more importantly, the self-balance. That should be a daily thing. Trying to work on that is how I believe. Not that I'm doing everything right and I'm making progress every day, but that's my opinion on it.
Okay, all right.
What do you think about New Year's resolutions? I'll sit on the fence.
I think it's a good thing.
Do you have any?
No, okay. I don't have any. But I'm very old. I'm very old, and for me, when you have a family, when you have kids, when you have a business, when you have a multiple life, right? When you have life around you, you can't wait for an arbitrary date, right? You got to set it. Some people, like you said, I guess, they want to reset it there, but it very rarely sticks, does it?
Well, that's the thing too, right? And then maybe you end up feeling worse because you didn't stick to your New Year's resolution. So if it's going to be good for you, then by all means do it, of course. What you said hit the nail on the head there, I think. You said when you've got kids and family life and you've got to pay the bills and do whatever, you can't wait sometimes for that set date to,
It is good, though, to feel like you could just turn over a new leaf, like there's this date and, okay, new year, new me, all of that. And it can be the impetus to review yourself.
And you do have to honor the changing of the time, and the calendar does turn over. That is a legitimate thing that we all live by. So there is that kind of thing with it. I understand what you're saying. So
yeah, we're both on the fence about this, aren't we? That's terrible. All right, fair enough. Okay, how was Christmas anyway, man?
Christmas was good, yeah. Like I've said to most people, it was all good, but it comes and goes pretty quickly, doesn't it? We're back here. That you released the last one podcast, 2-3 days before Christmas on Spotify, one day before on YouTube, and we're back here already. So yeah, it was all good. How about you?
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good to we got a lot of messages from people saying, "Oh, look, let's discuss this," or "We'd love to be."
I'm talking about Christmas. We'll get to this.
Oh yeah, Christmas. Yeah, I mean, the Chowdhury Christmases are legendary, right? I mean, I'm Muslim.
Non-traditional Christmas?
Oh, not if. Well, yeah. I mean, like, how can I say it's non-traditional? I don't celebrate Christmas,
Yeah.
right? We
The
like
tree over there, but
yeah, Christmas tree over there. It's like it's not a religious thing for us, and I know there are people out there who will be like, Casey, you are a John Ball for doing this, yeah. But you know, it's kind of like the kids like the lights. You know what I mean? They want to be involved.
Is it a religious thing for anybody, really?
No, I don't
You
think
know what I
so. And we're
mean?
not doing it from a religious perspective. I mean, there's arguments against that, you know.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. Of
you know what I
course,
mean?
yeah, for sure.
Islamic arguments against that, and I don't want to get too much into it
Isn't
because
this
this is supposed to be about basketball.
Isn't this seasonal arguments that he wasn't born anywhere near that time of year anyway?
I'm not getting into that.
No
But
offense
that's
to
another
anybody.
podcast.
No offense to anyone. It's another
Yeah.
podcast. Yeah.
But yeah, my family, they're not traditional. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And so, from my other family side, the family who live in London and stuff, it's like a big thing, you know, celebrating
Yep.
Christmas, kind of like Home Alone. It's
Yeah.
like 15, 20
Nice.
of us in the house. It's madness for 5 days. And
That's the beauty of it, right? That's what it's
is.
all about, really, is people coming together and being in what they call the Christmas spirit, but everyone's just in a better mood usually, right? Which is
Yeah, because there's a lot of food and presents and snacks. So I
no guilty conscience for overeating or over drinking.
I feel it now. I'm feeling it now because I've put on a few pounds and I've spent the last year and a half, 2 years trying to get my weight down.
Is that why you got the pillow?
But there's my belly, okay? It's not that bad. I've got it because I don't want him. I don't want you guys out there looking at my, you know what I mean, my aura.
I want you to show off I want you to show that too.
Oh yeah, but shout out Ibby. I doubt that he'll watch this, but shout out Ibby and the T-shirt. Yeah,
respect.
Great designer, great T-shirt.
I cut you off though, bro, because you was about to go into how some people have spoke to you since the first podcast, and I was really interested in what you're going to say.
Yeah, so I had, so we had several hundred views, which is good across Spotify and YouTube.
Thank you to everyone that listened.
This is going to go out on YouTube first before we put Spotify. So hopefully you all still watch, subscribe if you can, guys. Helps us.
Please.
Just because we could do with some better equipment. But yeah, I mean, there's low production values, I guess.
You said certain people talk to you about what you should talk about and all that, but I think
a lot more people reached out to you than me.
Maybe, but I also
think people like Ben more than they like me. I think that's got to go in the poll there as well.
I think funny as well though. I sent the link out to a lot of different individuals who I thought would be interested in it. Friends of mine mostly, or whatever. Yeah, friends basically, all of them.
And yeah, I think we rambled quite a lot for people within Wales.
Yes, we had 3.5 hours or so that you cut down into 90 minutes.
Yeah, that was hard. There was a few things in there. I was like, oh, I just can't be asked being controversial here.
That's the thing.
And they podcast each one of those, even though it was like 20, 30 minutes of us talking about it, I think that they were topics within themselves that will just be things that just keep coming up. And they need to be, I think we need to be, we're trying to be, we've done a bit of research today.
We have.
To try and get a bit more information. But also, I think we want to look outside of Wales and give the rest of the UK an insight into what is happening in Wales. So not strictly our next topic, but I think it fits in well. What is the structure of Welsh basketball right now? Local league all the way up to national league right now, and pro leagues, right?
I'm going to fuck this up for you because I want you to go back a sec.
Okay.
Because you were talking about getting better equipment and whatnot, but I want you to talk about the reason you're doing this. What you said to me the other day.
Can't remember. What did I say?
You're talking about, documenting history, just loving the game, and there's nothing like this, because that's really why we do. Obviously, we're enjoying it as well.
Yeah.
But that's why, really, right? Because there's not really much going on like this for South Wales basketball. I know Welsh basketball. I know you're going to branch out, and we want to get people in from NBL and SLB and BCB, whatever. But
we're in discussions with several people by the way.
Oh yeah, and everyone that I've spoke to that said they're going to come on and get cancelled, don't worry about that. That's so many people have said no. People that I consider to be pretty calm people, they're like, no, I can't share my opinion.
So this is totally off topic now. God, I don't know how we're going to fit this in. But the reason they feel like that
is because, time limit, are we?
Yeah. Because of the state of British basketball, which is a topic we're going to cover today. But that's why they feel like they're going to get cancelled, because the state of British basketball right now, there's a lot of oligarchs, so powerful clubs,
Yeah,
both pro and non-pro, who can make life difficult if you say, because if you're a hooper, right, you go wherever the basketball is,
of course,
right,
you love
the
basketball, that's what
highest
you're doing.
level. But if you say something that annoys somebody, and it can affect your money-making thing,
we've
right?
probably both seen that in our past as well, probably without really knowing about it when we were a bit more openly outlandish out in the world. Now we just keep it between us.
Truthful, maybe
Truthful, yeah.
truthful,
Our truth at the
less
time,
filtered,
maybe
less
filter, and
Yeah.
maybe our truth at the time. But looking back, I wonder, was it the truth? But
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so let's go on then. Structure of Welsh basketball today. What are the main leagues? And let's go through it. What are the main leagues for men now? Because we're not going to discuss something that we're not 100% with, which is the women's side of things, which we have an opinion on, which we may get into as well.
maybe sometime.
Yeah, but yeah, what's the structure of Welsh basketball right now?
BWNL is the top one, right?
So what's
the Basketball
BWNL?
Wales National League?
Okay, so we have in the last couple of years, BW under some of the guys from up north. Forget his name. Morgan.
Oh yeah, James.
James
nice
Morgan.
guy, nice guy.
Really nice.
Put a lot
guy.
of time into that as well.
Yeah,
a
he
lot
ran
of
a
time.
National League club as well up there.
Yeah.
They did really well. Really nice guy.
Gav, him and Gav, I was assuming did it.
No, he actually
James
pushed
Morgan's
it.
did
Yeah,
okay.
I was in on the meeting when he was like, "Look, I'm going to do this." At the same time, we set up CBL, so it was pretty much the same year. So it was
although they're on
4 or 5 years,
opposite ends of the spectrum, right?
Vastly opposite ends.
Because BWNL is trying to be it is, I guess, it is the top league in Wales, I suppose.
Yes.
Yes.
So you've got BWNL, then you've got South Wales Basketball Association, North Wales Basketball Association. Then you've got is a West Wales League and a Mid Wales League as well.
And the West Wales and Mid Wales, they're just different regions of the South Wales League.
No, there was a league out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And there is a Mid Wales League as well.
But if anyone's talking about Welsh League, usually for the past 20, 25 years, they're talking about SWBA, right?
Yeah, which maybe not the last 20, 25 years, but it has become the Premier League in Wales, because
the South always beats the North.
The South absolutely smacks the North.
Every time they go up there and play, the final is usually, back when they used to do it, we used to go up there, the final would be the two South teams playing against each other usually.
Yeah. There used to be a competition where the best teams in the North and the best teams in the South used to play each other.
They don't do the Terry Price anymore.
No, they've moved it from because they got the BWNL and the best teams from SWBA, South Wales Basketball Association, are playing in BWNL.
Theoretically, apart from us,
theoretically.
Because this year, us and RCT are the best two teams in the Welsh in SWBA.
Yes. We'll get onto that in a minute. So, essentially, it's a bit sporadic. The quality of basketball up north, they're pretty well drilled, organized, could hang, mid, top 5.
Mold Magic used to be a really good program up there back in the day. They still got it, is it?
Still really good.
And like Alan Dupper was playing for them and stuff. They've had some. I think they've had a few like outliers in terms of high level guys come from there, and I'm surprised it's not a bit better, because they got like Liverpool's just across, and all those other places.
Yeah, but it's like with us, it's like Liverpool to wherever Mold is like a good hour away, right?
Yeah.
It'd be like people coming down to play for us, in a local league competition from there, and the standard's not great, right? Across the board, the standard.
My perception's always been the standard's not great up there.
It's not great. You'll have your top teams in the south. Maybe Mold is doing well. Unismon, I think, are doing well as well.
I know the name, but I'm ignorant on this topic.
These are North Wales teams: Mold, Unismon, and there's a couple of others I forget.
I just remember as a junior playing for Wales, Mold had a few real nice players, but again, outliers, because there was maybe a couple from North Wales. Everyone else was from around here.
So we have, and we'll put up graphics, right? Because we're really getting
moving on up.
BWNL, and then you've got SWBA. And then you've got CBL, those, and North Wales Basketball Association. I would say North Wales is below SWBA and above CBL. CBL is a league that I set up with Asa. We did want so Asa Waite, who runs a lot of amazing junior programs in Newport,
and was a class player forever.
Incredible player.
Local legend in the South Wales basketball circles, to be honest. From young.
Without a doubt.
Used to play Cardiff Clippers back in the day as a junior and everyone knew about him.
But the way he's able to pinpoint the culture of basketball.
Yeah. And he is. In a lot of ways, he is the culture of basketball. He's came up in it. He was a great player the whole time, like a tough kid from
a tough area.
Yeah, so he is the culture in a lot of ways.
Incredible player, incredible coach, very good coach. Whatever anybody says, I disagree. Very good coach.
I don't know what people have said.
Oh, man,
but as a player, he's never class, man.
Yeah, class. I mean, people have issues with Asa because
probably because he's tough.
He's tough, right? He's played at the highest levels of British basketball.
Yeah, he has.
He knows what he's talking about. He comes at it, with passion. And it's going to rub people up the wrong way, right?
And if he grew up in an area like his in England with a better basketball infrastructure, he probably would have played professional with his talent and his mindset. Like there's not much scope when you're from around here to do that.
Absolutely. So CBL, I set that up with Asa. I did want to get Manny involved from Tribal, but Manny they're doing amazing things. So
Manny's one of the purest guys in Welsh basketball. Love to Manny.
And so there was some stuff there. So me and Asa set it up. There was a lot of pushback.
Yeah.
When we set up CPL.
Oh, okay.
Because they were like, oh, just merge everything into SWBA and we'll do this and do that.
Who's saying that?
I was like, you've had like 20
Who's telling you that though? I don't know.
Oh, Dave Fall.
Okay.
Gav Wills was cool about it. He's always cool about promoting basketball.
Gav's a cool guy. He's,
so he's always been about, what can we do?
Yes.
To promote it, to help it and stuff. But there were a lot of people who were like, no, we're not going to join. We're not going to be involved.
I didn't know that,
But we've been successful. We held probably one of the biggest single-day basketball events.
It's still going now. It's just a known entity now, along with the other leagues. From my perspective, it is known as the lowest level, just show up and play league.
Yeah,
the standards, in my opinion,
the standard's gone up. Yeah, because teams now are putting in their older guys playing CBL.
Yeah, that will.
So Barry, Cobras, and these guys are not.
Oh, that'll be good. No, that'll be good.
It's pushed up the standard, and there's some cool stuff that hopefully, if some other things come off, which we can't talk about, we can get some even more stuff going on. So CBL is essentially Cardiff Basketball League. I set it up.
Any league with Suf holding the 3-point record in the league has its limits, as far as I'm concerned. Shout out to my guy, Sufyan Iqbal.
Yeah.
We have to take a shot at Suf every podcast.
Every podcast has to be done. 12 threes in a game, yeah. Was it regulation? We don't know. We won't comment.
I think we know, but...
Yeah, we won't comment. So Cardiff Basketball League set up because South Wales Basketball League, in my opinion, really great meaning people, made up of a lot of team members, but also the original people set up the league. They don't know about basketball right now. Like, what's the culture? What's going on? They need to, they need an influx of fresh blood.
I couldn't comment, Casey, because I honestly don't know who those original people are. I truly don't.
You remember Merthyr back in the day?
Yeah, and Kev's dad. Oh, he's a good guy, man.
Yeah, Kev Davis.
No, it's not Kev's dad. Kev is the dad, and Simon's the player. Simon was a great player.
Brilliant player.
Played for Wales, great player. Yeah, I know Kev. I didn't know he was one of the first people to set it up. He's another one I remember from my last.
So him, Dave Falls, who was originally called South Wales Valleys League, it's now become basically the predominant league thingy, because we don't. Cardiff City Basketball Club does not play in BWNL. The main reason for that is we entered one season, we couldn't fulfill the fixtures. Being absolutely honest, nobody wanted to travel.
Yeah.
Like 5-6 hours.
I'm smiling because I just wondered how far you were going to go with it.
No, I just being honest, right? Our guys couldn't be asked going 5 or 6 hours up north to play a substandard team.
But also,
right? And that was no disrespect to them. That's because of the standard that we are at with our national team.
But at the same time, it wasn't just the guys didn't want to travel for that one game.
Yeah.
I think I was still playing at this time. I was definitely involved anyway. But our record, we should have made the playoffs based on our record, and even with the points difference and whatever. But because we didn't travel for that game, it was almost like they gave us an extra forfeit.
Yeah.
And we didn't make the playoffs. Like, it wasn't like just if that had just been a loss by 20 points, we would have still been in the playoffs. But because we didn't travel, they didn't put us in, which was, I thought at the time, I might be having some of the particulars, I might get some of those particulars a little bit wrong.
Yeah.
But I thought it was bullshit at the time, and still now, because wouldn't you want the best teams? Because we would have then been playing against all the best teams.
Which comes up to this year where we were.
So it's on them why we're not in it, bro, is what I'm saying. Not on us.
No. That was their rules that they had, right?
No, but in what other league where if you don't go to the game, is it counted as more than just a regular 20-point loss?
I don't know. I don't know what the rules are, but I know that whatever they put in place, based on what I know of James Morgan, where he wants all the teams to play, and he's put in so much effort.
Yeah, James is a really nice guy. I like him a lot.
But
still disagree with that decision.
But it's like, if you're not going to travel to away games, then like, what's the point of the National League? So they probably heavily penalised us for that.
That's a fair point.
That's one thing. But then again, what happened to us in this season, like with SWBA, we beat Barry by like 20 points. And the league said, "Oh, you didn't show your licenses," but we're like, "Hang on, the ref saw our licenses. No, you're supposed to present them on the day." Well, Barry didn't present them. Oh no, but they had a list, and it was like,
what happened was
well, you were there. I was.
So Michelle was on the table. Michelle's a pro when it comes to the table. She's a legend.
Level 4 table
Michelle
official.
knows all the stuff. So Michelle was on the table. I said, "I'm going to get the numbers for you."
Yeah.
I don't have them right now. I'm going to get the license numbers. And she said, basically, like, that it's all online now, and she was doing it all in Caerphilly, just all online. And me being ignorant and not being savvy with this stuff, I took that as gospel and left it there. The refs then checked the licenses too, so it's not like the refs didn't check them.
They checked our licenses
and then someone
told us to play.
And then someone in the office somewhere or whatever.
It's Mandy, whoever this Mandy bird is.
She looked at the score sheet and then...
My God, Mandy, let me just say something to you right now. Stop sending out these long-ass emails. Learn to communicate more efficiently and effectively, because it's so boring. I read your New Year's Eve, and I know you're giving up your time. But if you can't do the, if like, come on.
No,
man.
shout out to Mandy. She's giving. I don't know who she is, but she's giving up her time and love for that.
Yeah, but they penalise us. Listen,
that was a cup game too, right?
It was a cup game.
So you want the best teams going through? We won by 20.
No, they don't.
They don't. Clearly, they clearly don't.
They're bored.
They must be bored to make something out of that.
RCT winning it. Right?
That was nonsense. That was nonsense. That whole thing.
At the end of the day, you don't want the best two teams to play each other.
It was nonsense. That whole thing.
It was an absolute travesty.
And that's being kind.
Yeah. So whatever. I mean, look, SWBA is the reason the CBL was set up. We just do cooler
whoever wins the cup this season is going to have an asterisk next to their name.
Well, RCT is still in it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and I hope they win.
Should win it.
Yeah, they should win it either way, maybe, whether we win it or not. But the final would likely be them and us, though.
Yeah, of course it would be. But yeah, so that's the situation. So SWBA right now, how are we sitting? Where do you think we are in the league? Do you think?
Well, see, they don't always have them updated. So where are we sitting? That was a cup game, so that doesn't count as a loss.
Right now,
we forfeited the RCT game away, right?
Yeah, the guys, we couldn't get a squad.
We legitimately for that game couldn't get it. It was too early for guys finishing from work. We got guys traveling from quite far away.
Yeah, what was the tip? Something like
7-ish, 7:15.
Yeah, and it's like an hour to get there. So
for some of those guys, even more. Where are we?
So, bottom of the table. Let's start bottom of the table. No.
We haven't lost.
Bottom of the table is ABC Gwent.
Oh, my guys. That's my guys.
Yeah.
That's our guy, Andy St. John.
Yeah.
Show some love to Andy, man.
Andy.
One of your favourite City players ever. Literally. One of your favourite City players of all time.
I love Andy. He's great. I can't talk without laughing. Love Andy to death.
Of course. Still a bucket now. Nobody in Welsh can guard him even now.
ABC Gwent should not be in D1, right?
Every season, this is what I thought I was going to have no info for any of this. Every season, though, with ABC Gwent, they've always got a few guys that are like considering playing, and if they do play, they'll be all right. And they
Badger.
Yeah, I've been one of those guys.
Yeah, you, Badger, Andy. John. Yeah.
Didn't they win? They won D2 last year, though.
Yeah, dominated. Let's have a look at last year.
They won D2.
Yeah.
Go check last, but then we'll go back for the table because that was fun. But yeah, shout outs to Andy.
Okay,
one of my oldest and closest friends, man. Don't see him enough these days. Great people.
Okay, D2. Here we go. D2. They lost 2 games all season. They went
finished top
16 and they won 14 out of 16 games.
That's even at that level, that's still a solid record. And one of my very, very best friends is the point guard for them. You know Jamie Bees? No slander towards Jamie Bees. Listener of the pod as well. One of the first people to get back to me. You know him if you saw him.
I know. Yeah. I'm crap with names. You know that. Okay. Let's go back to the 26th season, D1. Who's number 7, do you think?
After Gwent?
Yeah.
I would say, I don't want to funnel shade, but I would say Beaver.
Nope.
All right.
Barry Huskies.
Barry.
They've played 3 games since October.
I know they've won 1 because they played Gwent.
Yeah. So they've won 1, lost 2. Number 6 is Caerphilly Cobras. 1-1, lost 4.
Okay.
But they're solid.
Yeah, they played us though as well, so that's 1 loss. So obviously, or maybe 2. So.
Yeah. They are Caerphilly Cobras, in my opinion, are even though it doesn't look on the table, they're the most improved team I've seen this season.
I don't know about that, but I like Caerphilly because they always play hard and they're always really earnest with it, you know. And
they got the 2 brothers.
Yeah, but Jack's injured. Jack Parfit.
Yeah,
I forget. I think it's Sam. Both really good players. Jack's always been the better player though until he got injured. Yeah. I've been trying to get Jack to play with us at City for years. He's been telling me next year's the year if he's healthy, so maybe it'll be.
We'll see. Bather Knights at the 5th spot.
You've got to shout out Pete as well from Bather, legend.
Absolute legend. How many
one of the
years?
Real true, legend.
Why has this guy not got a knighthood?
Peter's a straight legend. And he's a lot of really good players have come through there, like random one, like Connor Easter.
Yeah.
Started with Bather, you know. He's had what's Jake? I forget the other guy's name that was
good, solid fundamental players. Yeah. You know what?
Maybe the rest of them are good, solid fundamental players, but they've had a few outliers that are really good. And to keep a team going in that tiny little area the whole time he's been doing it, he's got people must like him, you know, and want to play for him. And he's just a good guy.
He's really good. I've seen him with his under 12s and his under 14s and under 16s. I've reffed a few of those games, and it's always a pleasure to ref.
He is one of the few guys where you
even when he disagrees with you and he's telling you, you're just like, look,
he's so nice.
You know,
I got in my head. I got the feeling that in his day he was a player as well. I don't know this, but I just imagine that he was probably a hell of a player back then.
He's I've known him for a long time.
Years ago, because it's been a while, you know, since you've been able to play properly.
Bather have been holding it down. So they're number 5. So they're doing well considering they only came.
How many teams are in the league?
8 in D1. In D1. Number 4. Who do you think it is?
Is it us?
No.
Swansea?
No.
Wait, don't tell me because there's only one other. It ain't gonna be. Is it RCT? It can't be RCT.
No.
Right, who am I missing that's in the league? This is terrible podcasting. You have to just tell me.
Cougars.
Oh shit! Yeah, of course. Cougars.
3 wins, 2 losses. Played 5 games. Swansea Storm.
Again, Cougars played us, so again, that's a loss. You know, that's one of their losses.
Swansea Storm 3-3. Played 6
that's
games.
It, yeah. Swansea were really good last season or the season before, but I think they may have had more.
They're really good this year as well. They played against ABC Gwent, and they must have hit something like 15, 16 threes in the game.
The last year that Jake Kinder played for us, he spoke very highly of Swansea Storm when he played against them in Welsh League. And if he says that, then that's all I need to hear, you know. And you know, Jacob Whitehorse, who played for us last year.
Yeah.
He played for them for a few years. He's gone now, I believe. But, you know,
Okay, cool.
Swansea have been better the last few years than prior.
Number 3 is Swansea Storm.
3-3, you said, yeah?
Yeah.
Who's 2, RCT or us?
It's us.
Because RCT
4-1. Yeah,
because officially we forfeited the RCT game. How many games RCT played?
4. They won all 4.
Of course they won all 4.
Right, so let's have a look at RCT's record. Right, us 20-0 because we didn't turn up.
Yeah.
They played Gwent 126 to 72.
You know what? That's not too bad for Gwent, really.
54-point win.
Gwent only got like 7 guys as well that go into these games. So.
Yeah. Gwent still scored 72.
That's what I mean. Yeah, like my boy Jamie Bees must have put some points on the board there.
Yeah, RCT versus Cobras, 104 to 45, which is really surprising because they played them in BWNL and it was only a 20-point win.
Okay.
And then Swansea Storm forfeited a cup game to them.
So that can't be on their league record.
No, it's not.
Okay.
I'm just telling you what they played.
Got
Yeah.
you. My bad.
And RCT Gladiators versus Bather Knights. They lost by 29, 90-61.
I don't think that's too bad for Bather, to be honest.
No, Bather are always solid. And then if we go to us, Storm forfeited to us.
Did they really? Okay.
Yeah. We beat Cougars 100-64.
Yeah, that was a good game.
Bather, we almost lost. We only won by 6.
No, we didn't almost lose. Okay.
What happened? So we lost. So the game against Bather was 64 City, 58 Bather.
Yeah, we didn't have many guys like NBL guys, but at the same time, we were never losing that game. The Bather might have thought they had a chance, but that was the loosest of loose rotations.
Yeah,
that was basically a 5-on, 5-off. Not quite, because I would never do that. It makes no sense. But like every 2 minutes, someone's subbing in, subbing out. We were never losing that game. And we had, I'm sure, Matt Godfrey, G. We had, we had half the CBL team in that game. The Cougars game was a good game. Guys shot the louts out. Shot out to Hamid and Boyle. Hamid and Boyle was class that game, and Hamid shot the lights out.
We won by almost 40 points in that game.
And Cougars are not bad, not bad at all.
Cougars have always been really well run, but that's Ryan and
yeah, well, maybe Ross does a lot of it now, but prior, there's been loads going on before. Even when Ryan was a kid, not a kid, like early 20s, it was still the Merchant Brothers and that running it, right? Yeah. And Ed Pickford's done a lot there too.
Yeah, he's not around now, so
he's not around now. But over the years, he's done a lot there.
Yeah. And then
we beat Barry, but that didn't.
Yeah, so 20. We've already covered that, so we'll leave that. So
Caerphilly we played too, yeah.
Yeah. So let's have a look at D2 men right now.
Shall we? We don't need to.
No Shout out to Tribal Hunters who are 5-1 in D2 right now. The juniors under 18s, just because it's decent level. The only team to not drop a game, but they've only played 3. See, this is the problem with local leagues.
They've probably played more games than that. The table just hasn't been updated.
No, this is under 18s. They've only got 6 teams in there. Met played 6. The top of the league, under 18s, SWBA.
Because of the games played, though, yeah, not because they've
5-1.
Who hasn't lost?
Pontypridd.
Yeah,
they look nice.
Yeah, okay.
They're 3-0. They played Archers.
I've not seen Pontypridd even since it's still.
God, they played against Archers.
And they beat them
by 40 points. 94-55.
Don't know what
they're not even close. These wins that they've got are not even close. Pontypridd Panthers are playing on another level right now. So shout out Pontypridd Panthers under 18s.
I'd say outside of Cardiff City juniors, I haven't seen any junior basketball this season.
Let's see how our under 16s are getting on, right?
Because Pontypridd still have the same coach though. Brendan, yeah. Because he's been doing good stuff there for a while. Obviously, he had his kids, Seb, because he was nice too. And they had some good few players going for them there.
He could hoop as well. No, he's not. He's playing seniors anyway. But under 16s, Port Talbot Spartans 4-0.
Yeah, good on them for having
Cardiff City 4-0.
Nice.
So points difference. They've got 149 points difference. We got 131. So our under 16s are doing well.
Yeah, that's good for them.
But I think what people need to understand is our under 16s, a lot of our under 16s are actually playing under 18s
in National League. Yeah, that's for sure.
And that is just elevated them to another level.
On the red, though, obviously, because we've got 2 NBL senior, NBL under 18 teams. Most of the under 16s are probably playing for the red team, right? Which is I don't even want to say it, but it is the second of the 2 NBL under 18 teams we have.
Because they're under 16s, right? Yeah. Our under 18s black they've got 2 years in under 18s National League, but we're only putting them in for this first year, and then next year they're playing men's. And then our under 18s red will have 3 or 4 years in.
Shout out to our under 18s as well, the black, because Amin sent me shout out to Amin first.
We're always shouting out Amin. No,
we never shout out Amin enough. Amin does it all, but he sent me a few. Have you seen the highlight packages he's got going on? He's got all the made baskets for every game broken down in like 6-minute clips. He sent me it all on YouTube, and they got some nice. The under 18s got some nice juniors that will be at least training with us next year.
Yeah,
for sure. They got Mike.
Yeah.
And they got
Isaiah.
But Isaiah,
point guard.
He's under 16.
No, he's under 18.
Oh, yeah.
Isaiah.
Okay, but they got Mike, and they got a guy number 8. Oh, who's playing for Pontypridd actually? Do you know, quite tall white guy number 8. I think he's playing Pontypridd.
Okay, yeah.
He's really nice. I
Yeah.
was watching some highlights the other day. He's a nice player.
Okay.
And they got I'm sure he had braids. Quite a big, stocky kid. It gets in a little bit of back and forth sometimes. Amin tells me with people can set some hard screens. Who's the guy? I forget his name.
There's Julio and Lozano.
Julio. Lozano, I know he trains with us, but Julio, shout out to Julio. Never met you before. I saw some of the highlights. You could be a player, bro. You could be a player. You need to come training with the seniors. And yeah, of course, Lozano's good people. I like Lozano a lot.
I've known those kids. Those young men.
Shout out to Julio. I hear stories about Julio every Sunday from Amin. When I see him every Sunday, there's a different story about Julio.
He's a rugby player as well.
That's what I heard.
Right, so he was 6 foot when he was 12 years old. He was 6 foot. He was taller than me.
About you.
I'm like 5'10", 5'11", right? He was 6 foot.
How tall is he now? It's not that tall, right? 6'3", 6'4",
6'3", 6'4", yeah. But he's built like a tank.
Yeah, built, yeah.
And he's got a nice little touch.
But I saw him. He's shooting threes on some. Yeah, thinking of making threes. Fair play to him.
So Junior's doing good. What was the next topic? SWMN Juniors. All right. So we're talking about local league. Right? Why is it so few Welsh players make it to National League? Over the last 15 years, right? Let's not go back any further than that. Let's go the last 10 years. That's fair. Last 10 years. Why are there so few Welsh players who make it to National League level?
Senior.
Oh, yeah.
Because obviously the Met and City and maybe some others, they run junior NBL. So there's plenty of kids playing junior NBL, right?
But City's only had junior NBL.
Yeah, Met's had a junior NBL team for a while.
A long time, forever.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course, one of it for a while, yeah. But
why are so few making the step up to men's National League? Welsh players. Now, controversial now. If you don't have a tie to Wales, you shouldn't be playing for Wales, right? So if you live here for 4 years at the moment, you can play for Wales, right? I don't think that's fair.
But the thing is, I don't disagree necessarily, but Wales don't even have a legitimate national team anymore.
No, because
so you can just have it as guys that play in Wales because it's just a collective that play friendlies.
I'm not saying you play in Wales, but you've got to have a tie to the country. You've got to have a tie to here. So it's like
you don't have to anymore, though.
But parents born here, but we're so desperate.
You don't have to now.
No.
Why? Because they're just playing friend. There's no Wales used to play in the Group C European Championships or Small Nations Tournament or whatever. When I was playing for Wales, it was an official recognised thing. And now they're just playing in the BCB Trophy. There's no disqualification if you're not Welsh. Not the BCB. They were playing in the BBL Trophy for a little bit.
Yeah.
And they just have friendlies.
Shocking that they would even think of entering the BBL.
So right now, they don't even need to restrict it. But I guess if you're trying to develop the players in Wales, going back to the question about why guys don't play NBL, I think it's there's not much there though for guys like.
Met have been doing it, holding it down for the best part of 30 years now.
Yeah.
27 years this year, right? Shout out Met. And they've been doing National League, right? And they've been holding it down.
For sure.
But we've had excellent players at National League level or excellent teams at National League level, but they're no longer involved.
Connor Easter was one of those. As a junior.
He's not hooping now.
He's not. And he was a great junior. A lot of the guys from that group of Vale kids, shout out to Andy Leffley that he had, were all great. But they don't play seniors.
This is what I'm saying.
I don't know.
Great to give.
You really gotta love it to be playing NBL.
Men's.
Yeah. To commit to all that, you really gotta love it. I think. And
1 or 2 training a week and a game on a weekend. That's 5-a-side football, mate. It's not a huge commitment.
Yeah.
Guys who go to the local pub and the Doner Kebab on a Friday night.
But if you want to get minutes,
you know what I mean? I'm playing.
If you want to get minutes at NBL. That's not enough on a decent team. You've got to do your own work in your own time.
Okay, so
unless you're a crazy athlete.
Okay, so we're coming back to it. No, it's good. Let's come back to it. Why are they not stepping up? They're getting good buckets, good minutes. Vale are dominating in juniors. Yeah. Why are they not stepping up to NBL men's? Now, my opinion on it is, and I'm keen to hear yours, is that these guys are not getting ready for senior men's early enough. And the jump from all of junior to men's is too big for junior basketball in Wales, but across the UK.
No, I totally
to
agree.
make.
The jump is massive. When we're all juniors that play, because I was one of those juniors that thought they could play at the senior level, you don't realize it at the time. The jump from under 18s to NBL seniors is huge.
It's huge.
But if you're already playing seniors, then that helps, you know.
Right now, there are guys who have gotten better over time. So we mentioned Jack Parfitt. Jack Parfitt has gotten better over time, right? Now, why aren't players playing in National League? Now, so there's two things, right? There's one, players come in, they do a season with us, realize they're not getting the same points they did at local league, or they're not getting as much playing time. It was not even playing time, but they're just not as productive at National League, because National League is a different level of basketball than most Welsh men's players are used to playing.
Yeah.
Both in terms of fitness and in terms of, I wouldn't even say commitment, because I think 2 training sessions in a game, and I know there's the travel.
There's obviously more X's and O's to it as well at the senior level.
Well, but that's it though. If you're improving, that's going to come. You're not going to just run bloody, you know what I mean, like a zone defense or a zone offense or whatever that you play in a local league, right? So why aren't? Is it that there's not much of an incentive for these guys?
There's no incentive, really. Where's the incentive? Obviously, only if you love it. If Andy Lefley had a senior team, though, I bet they'd have quite a few the ones that stick around. A lot of Andy's guys seem to go off to uni, and maybe they played Bucks and that, but then you usually don't see them resurface at NBL level after that, you know. Yeah. But I don't think there's much of an incentive for the playing of the game, which is the best part of it all, which is what we all love. That's the incentive. But
is that why there's so many English players in National League Welsh teams right now? So by that I mean Met and us. Even though I think we are called.
Sorry, say that again. There's so many.
Is that why what you've just said? Is that the reason that there's no incentive why there's so few Welsh players playing for Welsh teams at National League level?
I haven't really thought about that. We got loads of Welsh boys, haven't we? Like, to me,
us and Met there's I would say there's more English players
for us.
Even for us, like
actually, to me, Eustace and Vocus, they're Welsh. To me, they grew up here. Boyle, Alekos, they're basically Welsh to me.
Okay,
Nefe,
so
they're all Welsh.
Who's English on our team then?
Berwyn. He's across the bridge. Obviously, lives in Wales
now.
He
lives here now, yeah.
That's it.
Okay, so we got.
Well, there's probably loads more. Tion if he comes back.
Yeah,
we're mainly Welsh right now.
Okay, so we're mainly Welsh. What about Met? What's Met's makeup?
Well, they got a lot of university students, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so there's that.
Yeah.
So there's no room for these guys to step up and play, because even their second team is exclusively uni guys, right?
Obviously, though, if you grew up as a basketball player in England, in general, chances are you're going to be better than the average person that grew up playing basketball in Wales. You know, unfortunately, I don't like it that that's what it is, but that is.
But why? Why?
It's just standards better over there, isn't it? Of course. Okay. I don't know why. I couldn't answer you why that, but we only got 2 teams playing NBL right now. 3. Met got 2 teams, of course.
We did have Mould, who were in National League. They were D4 for a while.
Okay,
stuff,
didn't know that.
Stuff. Yeah, they've always been really well run.
But it's the same. There's loads of maybe they're not officially English, but there's loads of like English players playing for Wales national team too. It's the same thing, really.
Yeah. How many? Okay, so that's a side thing. How many players in the Welsh national team that played in their last game? I think they won it. They went over to Malta and stuff.
Yeah, they went to Malta, didn't they?
That were actually either born in Wales or have family, like a proper, you know, like when you go to any other sport, do your parents come from Wales? Do your grandparents come from Wales? What's your tie to Wales? Can't be, oh yeah, I just lived here and it's like a good way to play basketball or whatever. Like how many players?
I don't know the whole team for Wales, but
so
AK Alex Kukuravas,
he's Welsh.
Well, I'm pretty sure he grew up in Wales. His dad, I think, might be Greek or Cypriot. Apologies, I don't mean to get that wrong. But
Jake, we know, is English.
Jake's English. Well,
Reece,
I guess.
Is Reece Welsh? Reece is Welsh.
It's from Gloucester, as far as I know, but I don't know.
Okay.
Nefe didn't play in that game, but Nefe I would count as Welsh. Yeah. Nefe's playing for Wales now as well. The last game that Wales men played in Wales, Nefe played.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
And he'll be playing if he wants to for the next.
So is that so? everything seems to be geared towards, okay, let's make it a meritocracy and let's get the best players in, but we're not producing the national league or the international level players because these guys aren't getting the opportunity to play at a higher level. Whereas we understand to a certain extent why Met is filled with uni students. It's a university team. There's going to be
that's the whole program. They have to
exactly. Whereas we're different. We're like
we're a private
we'll
club,
take
so.
we'll take whoever the best player is. You know what I mean? Here, so we give opportunities to Welsh players, right? More opportunities than most.
Agreed,
teams.
but as you were kind of alluding to, it's slim pickings, I guess, right now.
Slim pickings,
right? Really, for like
slim pickings. But then there's got to be players out there that could play at that level, but there's no pathway to them playing National League, right? So if we had a second team,
yeah, that would be great.
There would be a pathway, but we've already
there's loads of guys
pigeonholed that for our juniors.
There's loads of guys, like you said. There are loads of players that could play NBL, even just with a season or half a season of training with the NBL team. They could play. Like, this might sound a bit silly, but there's truly guys from down Roth Park who've got talent that if you gave them a whole season training with NBL, they could play, but maybe they don't want to. I don't know. You know, but like Shaq. Shaq could have played many a time NBL if he'd actually committed and trained the whole time. No.
Yeah, maybe. I disagree because I don't look at just the talent, because playing at NBL for me is about commitment. It's riding the Christmas period.
Well, you said there was no commitment required.
No.
You said it wasn't a barrier.
No. It's not a barrier, but you have to commit to it.
You have to commit.
You have to commit to it, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, you do five-a-side pub football or whatever, train once, twice a week, game once, twice a week.
There's no training. They just show up and play. Five-a-side's the best because you literally can just show up and play, and it's always fun.
All right, fair enough. All right, maybe that's
you can't do that at NBL.
But for me, not even for me, I look at commitment, right? And the way that the club is going, we're going to be removing barriers for financial impediment, right? Even though we do that now, where we work with everybody, right?
Yeah, it's not expensive for most of the NBL teams. I can't imagine it's crazy money when you look at how much money people are spending on all these other things.
Yeah.
But just the thought of the spending the money probably does influence some guys to not get involved.
Especially if they think that they're not going to play, right?
Yeah. I guess you don't want to pay a lot of money to sit on the bench, I suppose.
So then we come back to it. So it's like a cyclical argument. It's like, how do you push the level up? And what I'm saying is that from the junior programs all the way up, we should be prioritizing national over locally.
What did you say there? You some gas or so. I didn't. The word didn't come out.
Let me cut that back up. We need to prioritize National League.
Right.
We need to prioritize National League over local league.
Yeah.
At all levels to improve the standard, because right now RCT are doing a benefit, or have been doing a benefit for the last, let's say, 10 years to the rest of local league basketball, because they're the highest placed teams. But teams have got so bored of playing them, so frustrated playing them because they're a tough team and they're playing at a good level.
Yeah, I'm not sure bored is the right word, but the rest I agree with completely. That
they don't want to play at a high level. They don't want to push themselves. You know what I mean?
And even RCT, they could be playing NBL, but it's the travel and all that, because Steve spoke to me about a time where, allegedly, I wasn't there was a time where you could play good, basically NBL level basketball in Wales, and there was enough teams that were of that level where you could just play in the Welsh league and the standard would be good enough, but I don't know.
Okay, so do we think that we are...
It's the social media and the screens, isn't it? Getting the kids off the court and on the screens and on the consoles. There's too much of that, Casey.
So
I'm kidding.
We can't get guys to step up to NBL. There's always a need for players to develop, and then teams get old, right?
But I think you and Amin have solved that, I reckon, long term with us by having two NBL teams, seniors. I think you guys will.
But then I look at the other big National League team, which is obviously again bigger than ourselves, right? And why aren't players coming through and sticking with it? So, like, they produce really good under-18s players. They produce really good junior players. Every year they're competing at junior level, but it's not translating to the thing.
Vale too, you know.
Vale's the same thing. So we haven't got an answer for that one. Interested in your thoughts on that. But there are now more teams playing, men's teams playing across local and local league in Wales than there, I think, has ever been.
Isn't basketball in general, like worldwide, like the fastest growing sport or whatever, you know, in general?
It's in the UK, it's the number one sport requested by young people, indoor sport.
Yeah.
And there's no crossover between the people that we're trying to develop, the athletes we're trying to develop, and the athletes that rugby and football, because there's very little crossover, right?
I get you. There's more, I guess there's probably more access to basketball now, or at least it's easier to view out in the world. When I started watching the NBA, you couldn't really watch it. There was no YouTube, and it was like, there was no league pass back then, like, you know, 2001 or whatever. It was like, it was so hard it'd be a 2-minute highlights on the old NBA.com website. Nowadays, it's all over everywhere basketball is, isn't it? You know, and a lot of people just consume basketball just through social media. I got a lot of friends who claim to know basketball, but they just follow, you know, they watch it on TikTok, and you know who you are, I'm Swiss specifically. But
name and shame.
He knows who he is. But like a lot of friends who claim they're basketball people, you know, and they just see the reels. I think there's more people playing now in general.
There's definitely more teams.
Not sure that the standard is higher now at these lower levels. At the top level, I don't want to spark anyone, but at the top level,
you can't really say lower levels, because this is Welsh basketball. It is the level it's at.
At the Welsh basketball level, I'm not sure if it's better. Like, but I think it's pretty clear that at the highest levels, they're better now, much better now than they used to be. You know, if we just took them in time machines and whatever. But I'm not sure about.
So you think what a prime City or Archers team could beat a prime Celts?
Oh hell no! I'm talking NBA.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I don't know that Celts team that we were talking about, which you didn't show enough love to.
Yeah.
No. They were stacked.
Pictures up. Yeah.
They were too stacked. You know, I've seen a couple of photos since then. I've had quite a few people talk to me about guys I was missing off their team. So it
comes back to this: the Celts had all these guys coming through. You know, Met have had all these guys coming through, and we're trying it as well. So that's why I asked the question. You know, we're trying to like keep the flow of youngsters coming through. Why is it that so few are playing up at National League level?
You're gonna have to tell me. I don't know.
No. I like the way I'm seeing it. Like I'm confused by it. I'm confused by it because I'm like, if there's an opportunity to play, then why wouldn't you? You know, like if you love the game,
if you love it though,
if you love it, right? And don't get me wrong, there are players that just time out, right? They just like Andy St. John's a great one, right? Andy St. John played D1,
yes,
played D2, D3, D4, played for us.
Could have played pro if that's the path he chosen to follow completely. You know, he could have played a professional.
Yeah, but Andy's timed out, right? Andy got older, family, you know, work, all of those commitments come in, right?
Now he's just getting buckets in local league.
But where's, you know what I mean? Where are the, like, it wasn't just Andy though, was it? There was other players coming through, but they just don't seem to be coming through now. So to say it's a golden age of Welsh basketball, I don't think it is. I think
nobody said that.
Well, that was the question. That was the question. I'm not saying, are we in it? There's more teams playing.
Shout out to Vic though on that as well, in terms of Vic had a huge pipeline of guys coming through and playing NBL,
yeah, so and he stopped
Andy.
It.
No, because Andy, but Andy's guys, they never seem to end up playing NBL seniors.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
You know, whereas Vic was pushing all the guys to play NBL senior. I don't know, like Vale are definitely producing just as many talented kids, of course.
Yes.
But I don't know, like for Cymran, from my local area growing up, like the Vic was the reason that he pushed it through, and he had a direct pipeline, you know, because he sent people up to play senior NBL as well, you know.
So I was watching. I've been heavily involved in like the Hoop Fix forums and Discords and Discord. I was chatting to. Shout out to Sam Netter, really like switched on guy. Says a lot of the stuff that I've said in private, which is, you know, if we don't do this, who's going to do it?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
You know, if we don't try this project, or if we don't do this, then who's going to do it? And one of the things he keeps coming back to is access to facilities. If you don't have access to facilities or a proper facilities you can use on the regular, the sport is not going to go. So right now, for me, as much as I want to say it's a golden age of basketball, I feel like we can be very complacent because we've got more kids playing. And I think that's what BW's main thing is. Let's get more kids playing. And eventually
Can I ask you a question based on your question then?
Let me just finish this one thing, is that they just want more people playing, and that's fine and that's great, get more kids playing. But if you don't sort out the facilities issue, if you don't funnel these kids into elite programs or national league programs, forget about the word even elite, but a higher level programs, where are these kids going? They're going, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a difficult one. Like, I think we're complacent. I think we're just comfortable. We got more teams than we've ever had playing in Welsh basketball in our history, potentially. I think that's the case right now, yeah?
I wouldn't be surprised.
But the standard is here. Like, there's Met, RCT, and us, right? Maybe underneath, maybe Mold. But I think even a full squad, all three of us.
And Met's second team, I'd take over Mold too.
Like, it's...
But what's the golden age? Is it the more people playing, or
a golden
playing at a higher
age,
level?
Like, basketball is in every corner of our city. It's on everyone's lips. Everybody's playing. But there's avenues. People are getting behind their teams. They're coming out to watch.
We spoke about this a little bit before, though.
Okay.
In and I know you said it's not connected in terms of, like, Met now, they play in Division 1, the highest level of a Welsh team right now.
Yeah.
But the Celts team that we've spoken about a lot, they were playing, I know you don't consider it to be, but they were playing, to me, what is now the BCB, because they were in D1 when it was a totally different structure, and D1 was directly below the BBL. And they were, although it wasn't officially connected, there were plenty of teams that won D1 back then and then went to the BBL. Like Plymouth Raiders, I saw them play D1 against Bath, and they won that league. And the next year they were in the BBL, So that it did happen. I think Woking or Worthing or someone else did it too,
Yeah.
So right now, the top level team in Wales is playing in really the old D2.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. How are Met getting on? Let's have a little look. How we're doing with NBL D1. Got me conscious now about my belly, you bastard.
You were conscious before. That's why you started with the pillow, brother.
I just don't want my... Anyway. So top BCU, Birmingham City University.
We saw them play, coincidentally, against Met.
Yes.
And we saw, I think, the second half. You saw that maybe a bit more. Birmingham, they look really good. Birmingham.
They've played 12 games.
Yeah, they lost 2, right? They're 10-2, something like that.
Yeah. And then next, this is because, like, obviously we played against all of these teams apart from Birmingham City Uni.
Yeah, last year.
Worcester last year.
They weren't great for the league.
They were like near the bottom of the table.
They were.
Yeah. Myerscough is third.
And I didn't.
Again, Myerscough
they weren't great last year.
Liverpool just avoided relegation.
Literally, I know.
It was between us and them.
Liverpool,
and they're fourth. They're doing really well this year.
But they had a lot of youngsters who you could see are going to be nice, real nice. Like they had one guy. They had this. Did you go to that game? They had one guy, lefty, like young guy, probably a junior, playing inside, sick moves. Silky player, man. Baller.
Sheffield Arrows in 5th place.
They weren't in our league last year.
Manchester Magic are 7th, so like they're below 500 right now. In terms of the win. Oh no, they're above 500.
The thing is, though, with teams like Worcester, they're a uni program, so they could have had a real influence.
They were an ex-BBL program.
Yeah, and
they've got their own arena, everything.
They could be a totally different team from last year in terms of on-court personnel because they got the uni and they could recruit and whatever, So last year was a down year for them, but they could be back up now.
The team that came second last year, Leicester Warriors, won 4, lost 7. So they are in 9th place. 10th place, we've missed out St. Helens, who are 6th. Manchester Magic, who are 7th. Sheffield Sharks, they're in 8th place. So not Sheffield Arrows. Sheffield Sharks are in 8th place. Sheffield Arrows are in 5th. Met are just above relegation with 3 wins and 9 losses. Teesside are in relegation zone. Teesside should have potentially.
They barely made it.
They barely made
year.
it. Yeah. But like, I mean, we were so bad. Like,
how many wins Teesside got?
2 wins, 10 losses.
And what about the team behind them?
Oxford Hoops, who came up this year, 1 win and 10 losses. I feel your pain, Oxford. We were there.
Oxford were not. Which league were they in last year then?
D3.
Our region too.
Yeah, but they won promotion to D2, and D2 became D1. That's Pool A, so that's the north. Yeah. Teesside.
I thought you wanted to talk about Met.
So Met are just above relegation. They got 3 wins, 9 losses. They lost Pete, I believe,
and Dan.
And
Johan. I still think they've lost Johan. I don't know, but
I know for a fact that Pete's not playing for them. I say I know for a fact, but he hasn't been playing for them for a little while. But he was back this year. Dan wasn't coming back this year. No. I knew that. But yeah, so Met are in a, like, if you look at the win-loss, starting at the bottom, Oxford have got 1 win, Teesside 2, Met 3, Leicester Warriors 4, Sheffield Sharks 5, and then it's Manchester, St. Helens, and Sheffield, which are around the 6-7 mark. So from the 7th to the 4th place is literally 1-2 games.
It's not a nice spot for Met to be in right now, obviously, but like, me personally, I wouldn't be concerned if I was them that they would get relegated based on the 2 teams below them.
Yeah,
I think they'll be more than okay.
Yeah,
they've had a couple of close losses as well. I think they'll be fine.
So let's go to Pool B, or the D1 South, as it used to be called. Barnet Bulldogs, 8 wins, 1 loss.
Barnet got promoted the same year we did.
Yeah. They were big, but they've invested nicely.
Right.
Barking Abbey, senior men, 7 wins, 2 losses.
They're always
Solent, 7-2 as well.
Solent's always going to be good,
Yeah, but I thought they'd be top of it because they won everything, man.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're not in BCB, but I guess they did self-relegate or whatever a couple of years back.
Yeah. London Stars, Cobham, Cobras, senior men, they're 5th place.
Is that Charlie's team?
That's Charlie.
Yes, sir. Shout out again to Charlie. Baller's baller. They're in D1, are they, Charlie's team? Nice. Do you see Charlie made team of the week for the last week before Christmas for the league as well?
No way.
Yeah. I saw it on the NBL thing. He's made the first 5 for the team of the week.
London Lions, senior men 2, 4 and 4. Then 7th place, Kohler. 8th place, Richmond. 9th place, Greenwich Titans. 10th place, Essex Rebels.
No, those are the 2 teams that they've withdrawn.
It doesn't say that on mine.
What's their record then?
It says they're in there. Oh, they got 0-0. They must have withdrawn. So South has gone basically to 10 teams.
All the London teams are
11 teams.
Always going to have talent,
teams. Sorry,
the London teams are always going to have talent. Some of those teams are like academy programs as well, like Kohler, City of London Academy. They're always going to be young, So
yeah, Essex Rebels have pulled out, and NASA have pulled out. Why have those 2 teams pulled out? Does anybody know? Can anybody give us a heads up?
Maybe the travel. Although a lot of those teams sound like they're pretty close to each other geographically, so maybe not the travel.
Yeah.
So like 6 or 7 London teams there, right? So
yeah, loads, absolutely loads. London Elite, they're just 10-0. They're
10-0, yeah.
Yeah, but with Essex Rebels and with NASA pulling out, London Elite won't be relegated because they're in the top 10. So 2 teams will go up, but no teams will go down. I don't know how they're going to.
That's speculation, right? Because they might still, if a team loses every game, they might still relegate them.
And then Pool C, Gloucester 9-0, Bath 8-2, Plymouth Raiders 7-1, Portsmouth Force 6-3, Cardiff City 5-4. And then it's Bristol Hurricanes with 4-7, Met seconds, Cardiff Met Archers seconds, 3-6. Then it's Worthing Thunder, 1-2, Reading Rockets, who've won 2, and then Bracknell Cobras, who've won 1 game.
We don't need to go any further.
Yeah, just reading them out now.
Which is all good.
Yeah, so
we don't need to go to D3 though.
National League teams, obviously, Wales don't have many men's teams in National League, and the 2 they do have come from one city.
Yeah.
So the focus, really, if I was involved in in Welsh basketball from a holistic standpoint. You do what's been successful in France and other countries, and you have these regional hubs, but you focus on the main areas for those hubs.
Isn't that what they're doing now? They've got Gav's got a southeast or southwest Wales team playing under 16 NBL, and it's Port Albert, Swansea, and one of the other clubs.
Perfect. Yeah, so it's not a men's team.
No, not yet, but maybe it could be.
But this is what I'm saying. We keep having these junior teams coming in, but these kids are not playing up to men's.
Yeah, but I think, like I said, with you having two teams next year, we're going to have a bunch of juniors playing NBL men's. So automatically, the number of youngsters going to NBL seniors is going to go up big time next year. You know, because we're going to have a bunch of under 18s playing NBL seniors.
Welsh national team. We touched on it. What's going on with the Welsh national team, Ben?
Okay. Well, it's hard to know exactly what's going on.
Okay.
Without being in the circle, I guess, you know. Not much is what I would say.
Not much.
Not much. No offense to anybody. I know we got people making a living doing whatever and all that. Good respect to them, love to them. Anyone that can make money.
Who's the head coach of men's Welsh team right now?
James Banfield.
James Banfield. How long has he been head coach?
I don't know, 10 years? I don't know.
Best part of 10 years, isn't it?
Maybe, yeah.
I like James. I think he had some great ideas, and I don't think that the reality on the ground has delivered that for the Welsh national team. Because again, we're talking about players wanting to play at a higher level. If you're not playing National League, which leads into international level basketball, then how are you going to make the Welsh team, right?
Yeah. You're not gonna. You can't make the Welsh team if you're not playing National League unless you're just physically different, you know, and you can just get taught the stuff. But I don't know. I've never really had any interactions with James Banfield, so I can't give any real opinions. All I can do is
James Dorr has stood down now.
What other people have told me.
I think he's still involved with the Welsh setup, but I thought it's a controversial opinion, but I think you can't just live somewhere and say, yeah, I want to join the national team. That's unfair because you've taken a spot of somebody.
What are we talking about now? The players or coaching?
So when we look at James Dorr, from my understanding, and if I'm wrong, correct me, right, guys? James Dorr he spent like 20 years in the Welsh basketball scene. He doesn't have a tie to Wales apart from living here and going to university here, right?
20 years playing 20 years.
Listen, if it was down to, like, you know, a meritocracy and whatever, great, you know, that's the thing. But we're talking about the Welsh national team.
Yeah.
Right? There are guys who are not playing for the Welsh national team that probably should, right? And be involved in it, whether it's the A team or B team. I don't even know if we got a B team, right? But we don't. We are relying on essentially imports to come in and play for our national team. Now, they had a big ceremony to recognize his achievements, right?
Whose?
James Dorr's.
Oh, did they?
Because they retired his jersey.
What? Really?
They retired his jersey.
I didn't know any of this.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not taking away from the fact that he's done amazing stuff and he's, you know, been involved with the Welsh program. However,
he's been a very, very good player for a long time. You got to give him the longevity.
Of course he has.
You see the
but you're going off topic.
I am again as well. Do you see the thing in our group chat? The game program from like 20 years ago, and it's got James Dorr on there, man. You got like 2004.
Listen, I'm not taking away from him. I'm saying, should he be playing for the Welsh national team if the guy has no ties to Wales apart from living here?
If it's an official Welsh national team, then no. But we don't have that.
No, but this is an official Welsh national team because even though we can't play in the competitions because the way that FIBA has said now, you know, when you go to competitions, it's GB, right? But England is still playing regular competitions. Okay. Scotland's still playing regular competitions.
Yeah, but they could make the Commonwealths, right? We ain't good enough to make it.
Okay. But then if we're just getting in the players who are maybe good enough to get into England or maybe just missed out on getting into England and putting them into the Welsh team, how does that help us? Now, don't get me wrong, James has developed a whole bunch of kids, you know, been doing it 20 years. Great, you know, fantastic, you know, more power to you. But should we as a country have retired somebody's jersey and had him as captain for like a decade when he has no ties, like on an international level to the country?
Okay.
We've taken the easy route by getting him in, because he's definitely boosted and helped. But that reliance on him now is he's retired now, and for whatever your opinions on it, I don't think we should have retired his jersey. I don't think he should have been captain.
I was surprised when you said that, because I didn't know that was a thing.
No, but
I'm out of the loop. Obviously,
it's nothing to do with ability and what he's achieved. Right? He's been given an opportunity and he smashed it. Like I've always said, right? Our guys never go to the Welsh national trials, right? Very rarely, right? So if they're not going to do it and somebody else does it, you're going to go with whatever's in front of you. You're going to play whatever's in front of you.
So many different reasons for why some
exactly.
of our guys haven't gone to.
But I mean, the decision to allow that, if you've been here for 2 years or 4 years, you can play for the Welsh national team. It's like, look, that's a great opportunity, right? But you're taking that away from, like, let's say Jack Parfitt or what's the chap to come out, Seb.
Yeah.
No,
I see a point. And what you're saying, obviously, officially, no. You shouldn't have someone with no ties to Wales playing for Wales, really. You shouldn't have that, I guess. But at the same time, like, James has obviously made a lot of contributions at this point, because he's coached so many Welsh kids. Like, for 20 years he's coached at Cardiff Met. Think how many Welsh basketball players he's helped develop over those years, which is completely separate to whether
it's separate.
Yeah, argument. if you're not from that country, then I guess no, you shouldn't be playing for that country, I guess. But who knows? Maybe James does have ties that we don't know about.
Maybe.
It could all be
but based on what we're seeing and stuff.
But I think the point you made about guys not wanting to go to play for Wales is interesting. But also, I wanted to ask as well.
There we go. Right?
I wanted to ask something else related to the James thing.
Oh, well, let me just come back to that. We were saying that it's the commitment and you kind of spun my comment on the head, which I was like, oh no, it's not much commitment and stuff like that. But if the opportunities aren't there, then you're not going to put in the commitment. Whereas you know what I mean? What I'm saying is that if you're a point guard and maybe you're not at the level of James Dorr, or Jake Kinder or anyone else, right? You're not going to get into the Welsh team because that spot's taken by somebody who has no ties to it. So you're not getting the opportunity to play for your Welsh national team, your home country, because there are players who've lived here for 4 years. I'll give you the best example.
It's funny you say Jake, though, because when I hear you say Jake, because I love him so much, I'm like, yeah, fuck, who cares where he's from? Get him in the team.
Of course. But then this is what happened, right?
Double standard by me.
They remember when Wales entered the BBL trophy or whatever it was. What a disaster that was. Absolute disgrace.
Good to get the BBL teams coming to Cardiff to play, though, for guys to be able to see them. That's a good thing. But obviously the results were disastrous.
It was disastrous. It set us back because players didn't want to be involved in a program that was like shooting for the stars and didn't have the foundations in there.
Is that players or is that just our players?
No. No, there was a lot of guys.
Yeah, there might have been. I'm out of the loop.
Man. Like, don't even look at our guys. Like, our guys.
Some of our guys should have been playing this whole time, though.
Of course.
Like Lewis, obviously.
John was vice captain when he was at Met. As soon as he left Met, strangely enough, he wasn't part of the Welsh team. What's going on there? But getting back to the BBL thing, they had a guy who'd come over here from Canada that I think Cardiff Met had got playing for them. He come over here from Canada and they had him in the BBL squad. He'd been in the country for 3 months. And they said, oh, no, it's a Welsh select team.
Oh, yeah, the guy, he's a nice player, nice guy. Yeah, I remember the guy you're talking about. I liked him a lot. But yeah, he was playing. But then that was a Welsh select team. They were calling it that.
But that's what I'm saying. You can't do that. Like, the guy's been in the country for 3 months and you're telling me you couldn't find anybody else who could fill that spot?
Yeah.
And then it goes cyclical again because it's like that guys just don't want to get involved because they're like, I got no chance of getting in there. You've got a guy from the States. You've got guys who've been part of the program, English players coming in, taking spots for players who want, you will agree with me on this. You cannot become a better player unless you're getting minutes, unless you're playing. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't substitute game time, right, with training time. You cannot, right? So that's why it takes time to develop.
I don't know. Like, you can definitely become a better player without getting minutes. 1,000,000% to me. My
But then
opinion.
if you don't get the minutes,
so
then how are you going to play at a higher level?
Because really, like, if we're being truthful about it, if you want to play at a real decent level,
Yeah,
even at this semi-professional level we're at, you got to be working out by yourself 3-4 times a week minimum, and I mean actually working out on
yeah,
court. Like, which is, I don't think many people do that these days. But when I
yeah,
started with Matt Goffrey, thanks to him, it was drilled into me. That's what you got to do if you want to play.
yeah.
So you can improve a lot without getting in the game, and then you show it in practice, and then you get in the game. But I get your
But if you
overall
know
point.
that spot's already gone, or it's really full, and you know it's just going to be like really difficult, you're not gonna join.
Yeah,
that
you're not going to
program.
persevere, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe not even put your foot in the ring.
But you were talking about the James Door thing and him maybe not having ties. He might do though. He probably messaged me
Yeah,
like, I got these ties and these ties.
yeah. Fair enough.
James is my guy anyway. But what about the coach though? Do you think the coach should be in Wales, or does it not really matter?
No, I think
Not
the head coach. The head coach. It depends what direction they're trying to take it. Right now, Basketball Wales is notoriously terrible at articulating what their plans are. I
right.
know that Gav. I know everybody does loads of works. James, look, this is not a criticism about the person or the individual. It's what is the vision? What is your vision for Welsh basketball? It seems like the vision is get as many people playing as possible so we can get funding in BW's side of it so that we can go to the next step, which is fair enough, right?
The more people you
But
get
we've
playing,
been doing that for 20 years and we haven't created an environment where more open national league teams, you know what I mean, are taking their players to the next level. Unless you take your players to a higher level of competition, they will not improve. They don't improve, they can't pay it back. If you hadn't played at a high level, and what levels did you play at? D1, D2?
D2 was the highest I played.
Okay.
Back when it was D4, D3, D2, D1.
Okay. So you played at D2, right? And you've been involved in the Welsh program, and you played it, and you've done.
Oh yeah, I played for Wales internationally on a junior and all that. Yeah,
but what I'm saying is, if you didn't have that experience, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
Yeah, I hear you.
But... So what I'm saying is that the viewpoint and the things that Basketball Wales are doing, they're not articulate. I can only hazard a guess as to what Basketball Wales are doing. Right?
If more people are playing, though, like you said that if the participation is higher, over time, naturally, that will lead to more good players, right? If you just have more people playing.
How long has Andy been going with his Vipers? Kelton and Vipers? 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
He's the only coach to win a competition. I think he's the only Welsh team to win a gold medal at a competition.
Oh yeah, that was a long time ago,
Yeah, that was like 15, 20 years ago.
That was like Sumi Khan and stuff, right? I'm sure Sid's brother Sumi was on that team.
Sumi.
Yeah.
Harry. They won a gold.
Harry.
Our Harry.
Wilson.
Yeah.
Hell no.
Yeah, he was in the squad.
He didn't make the team though.
Yeah, he went out there. I'm sure he did.
What? He can't have, man. He can't have showed up 10 years ago being the player he was if he played for Wales as a junior. He looked like he'd never played before when I first saw him play.
He was fat.
He can play now, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Separate little tangent, full of them, I know, but he made the all-tournament team there. He was the sixth man for Wales. Because Andy was thinking, let's let him come in and just do what he does. He can do his thing. We won't start him. And he played sixth man and made all-tournament team. That's crazy. That's impressive, And then he come and play for us for a season. I pissed him off, and we never saw him again.
He moved to Dubai.
Such a talented guy. Him and Lewis were like the super talented guys, juniors from the same team.
So, but what I'm saying is, Andy's been doing this and held it down as much as Met have held it down with development
at the junior level, for sure.
Junior levels, but they're not coming through on the senior, right?
No.
So, is it because this is a question for you guys? Why are you, if you played at a high level at junior level, under 16s, under 18s, why did you drop off when it came to senior level?
That's a good question.
I think it's, going off, being free at uni, partying. Let's just leave it at partying. Yeah. But also, the opportunities are slim.
Yes, there's no infrastructure to keep going.
There's no infrastructure. We try to provide it, you know what I mean? And we're trying to do some more stuff. I think it's a difficult one, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, the national team, the opportunities aren't there. Okay, where else can I play for local league? And if you're part of the national team, 9 times out of 10, and this is maybe controversial, you're part of Met. 9 times out of 10, right?
Maybe 6 or 7 times out of 10.
Senior men, you have some affiliation with Cardiff Met, right? And that's understandable because they've been holding it down.
Well,
Andy's been holding it down.
They got the place too, haven't they? You know, they got the building and that.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. So now we've talked about Wales. All right. Let's have a little chat about the BBF. Right. So
yeah, you're gonna have to take the lead on this for sure.
All right. So in November 2025, the BBF, it basically liquidated itself. Right. This was following like basically the best part of a year of them just fucking everything up. Right. So the core arguments are essentially it was a license war. The BBF, so British Basketball Federation, awarded a 15-year exclusive license to Glickman, so the GBB, right? GBB League, right? Which is Glickman.
That's what they were going to call it, right? They were going to call it the GBB.
I don't know if they were going to call it that, right?
That was just the name of the company.
But the BBF is the governing body of all governing bodies. Deals with FIBA, deals with the Olympics, whatever. They're the main one. And they're made up of predominantly people in Basketball England, Basketball Wales, the heads, or people from within there, Basketball Scotland and Basketball Northern Ireland.
I read earlier when I was reading online that they owe Basketball England and Basketball Wales money, apparently, the BBF. Before it went thing.
Essentially, the BBF awarded. So I'm just going with the facts on the ground that I've managed to pull off. Again, shout out to Hoopfix, Sam Netter for like some of his articles, which I pulled this information off. The BBF awarded a 15-year exclusive license to a new entity, arguing that the sport needed a clean break and significant private investment to be sustainable. Glickman used to own, I think, Portland Trailblazers.
Okay.
In the NBA, so they were like, "Oh, this guy's coming in."
You can't argue with that little statement you just quoted then, though.
Yeah.
About, you can't about the needing the support and the.
This is we're going to get into it. So that was the BBF's stance. We needed a clean break. We need to go with that, and they award the pro license, right? Then you've got the SLB, which used to be BBL, and then 777 Partners, which was an investment firm. They folded. And then all the teams that made up the BBL set up a new league called the Super League Basketball. Yeah, the clubs are currently playing, right? Argued that the deal was anti-competitive and lacked transparency. They took the BBF to the High Court, right? Now, a little bit of context. From the BBS side, they said it was open. I've spoken to one or two members of the BBF, and I'm not going to quote them, but I'm just telling you what I've spoken to them about. And they said it was open. They didn't put in a bid. So we said, look, come in. The Super League Basketball put out a statement saying we weren't invited to put in a bid, and it was all done quite shady. We're really unhappy with how it was done. They've basically given a license to somebody to set up a league and not consulted the teams on the ground that have put in millions of pounds over the years, have kept the pro game going in the UK, and have not got involved. The result, essentially, FIBA said we're going to put in a task force to deal with this because what BBF has done doesn't look correct, essentially, reading between the lines, doesn't seem fair. The SLB took the BBF to High Court to nullify the deal. The result was the BBF liquidated. It is presumed that the controversial 15-year contract with GBBL, so Glickman, is now invalidated, though GBL has threatened legal action over payments already. So essentially, we can't compete in any FIBA recognized tournaments until this is dealt with. So FIBA and a dedicated task force are now intervening to ensure that GB teams could still compete. SLB and the home nations, England, Scotland, Wales, argued that governance must be rebuilt from the ground up to prevent the sport from being suspended globally, right? So even though the home nations are saying they were part of the BBF and they made that decision, and it was the wrong decision because you do not set up a league without involving other teams. It should have gone through that. You can't.
Do we know that happened?
Yeah, they said we've awarded the license. We're going to rejig the structure, and some exciting new things are coming. And the SLB teams are going, hang on a second,
We weren't
we don't
consulted
have
on
any
this.
money in this. We don't have shares.
Right.
Of what's going on, or the shares have reduced, and we've held it down for
Yeah.
God knows how many years.
Yeah, they came
And
into like a
now you're
co-op scenario,
sidelining
didn't
us,
they?
giving it to this multimillionaire, and we'll get like a small percentage. How are we meant to make it, continue it going? So I agree with the SLB. There's a reason that the BBF liquidated. They had 15 million in their account on November 13th. November 14th, when they liquidated, they had nothing left in their account, owing home nations money, owing.
I can't make sense of that.
Exactly. So as far as I'm concerned, it's kind of like they've held their hands up and gone, yeah, we screwed up here. We made a massive mistake.
Where's that money gone though?
Where's that money gone? Indeed. So Glickman wants his money back, a couple $100,000.
Oh, so he didn't go back to him? A couple $100,000? I thought he was investing 15 million.
So
props to the SLB, the teams that came into the co-op though and kept it going themselves. That's respect to those guys, those teams.
It's like, imagine Basketball Wales making a decision, right? Okay, we're going to run all of the leagues now, which they do de facto anyway, because it's the same people in BW as in SWBA and BWNL. But we're going to
run CBL.
Not CBL. Not yet. Not yet. But Basketball Wales coming in and saying, right, okay, we've got a new pro program. We're going to set it up. You can enter it. You can enter all the money, but any money we make, you know what I mean? You're going to have limited say in how the leagues run. It's going to be our way or the highway. So, summary of the current situation with BBF is insolvency specialists, Beg Beach trainer are now handling the BBF's assets. The home nations and FIBA are working on an interim operating model to keep national teams on the court. Professional basketball in the UK is effectively being run independently by the SLB, which has received temporary recognition from FIBA, bypassing the now defunct BBF. So BBF is gone. SLB has held it down.
Yes, they have.
So what does that say about the whole game in the UK? It says that you can't circumvent the teams. The teams are what make the league.
Yeah.
They put in the work. You can't just go, right, we're going to set up a new pro league and there's no structure underground.
BBL's been doing this for a long, long time now, though, right?
The teams that have been doing it, right?
When I was a kid, the Budweiser League, which is the BBL, which is now the SLB, it was on Sky Sports every Sunday. I had no clue about basketball, but that was on. London Towers were a huge team back then. I can even remember some of like Danny Lewis was a big point guard back then. I didn't know nothing about basketball, but like it was on good TV contracts, but it's been going downhill for a long, long time. And I got no idea why. And I got no idea how it stops it to stop it either. So I'll leave it up to you.
This is what a lot of people say. They say that in the 80s and 90s, British basketball, it was the golden age.
Yeah, this must be mid-90s, brother, because I was like 5, 6, and it was on the TV on Sky Sports 1, all the time. So
we're in a position where it's come to marketing poorly administrated from above. And I think that, there's a lot of opinions we can give. It's a difficult situation.
I'm sure.
Where you start with the teams that are already there. Just like with the Welsh national team, you start with the players that are already there, and then you develop those and you build them up and you push them into elite programs. Now, there's a lot of elite junior programs. We've got West Wales, we got Vale, we got Tribal, we got City, and we've got Archers. Right?
Elite is a subjective term.
No, when I mean elite competition. Not saying they're elite, but saying the competition.
They're playing in the top level. They could be playing in NBL,
exactly, right? So you've got 5 teams in South Wales playing a National League. Ponty in there, I think they were last year.
Tribal played National League, is it?
Yeah, they're in the 16s.
And the 16s, good on them.
Yeah, so these are all junior programs. 5, 6 teams in South Wales.
That's
right?
good. Playing NBL, that's really good.
Now let's look at those 6 teams. Swansea, Vale, Archers,
Tribal,
City, and Ponty, right?
Ponty not NBL this year.
How many of those are in and around Cardiff? Tribal?
All of them, really. Depending on how you want to class it.
Apart from West Wales.
How far is that, though? Yeah, I guess.
Swansea.
An hour. It's not that far.
Yeah, it's still a distance, but yeah, okay. So, but they're doing their thing, right? Look where all the talent is centered. Tribal, Cardiff. City, Cardiff. Archers, Cardiff, Vale, periphery of Cardiff, Barry,
basic, yeah.
Southeast, Ponty.
That's local.
Pontypridd.
Yeah, let's get again.
You got 5 out of the 6 teams in and around the Southeast. We don't have a national centre for basketball here.
Yeah, that would be a real cool thing if we had that.
Right, we've got the amazing arena that Archers got. Obviously, I live across the road from Archers.
Yeah, which is nice.
Where I'm at and stuff. Beautiful.
Welsh Institute of Sport used to be the spot, though, didn't it? Because didn't Cardiff used to play there?
Yeah, but even that is like tired.
At this point, it is. But when I was a junior, it wasn't.
Would you rather play at the Welsh Institute of Sport or Archers Arena?
What, with everything pulled out?
Yeah.
I still rather play at the Welsh Institute of Sport.
See,
Nostalgia.
Yeah, maybe, but it's just like the rings are a bit rickety. It's just like the scoreboards, like from the 80s. It's just like you go to Met and it's like state of the art arena.
Yeah, it is.
You get like 500 people in there.
Yeah, they don't, but you could.
Yeah, I mean, the D1 team out games, like, are they getting anybody coming to their games?
The D1, they had a few in the games I was watching. Nothing crazy. They're on the single court, Yeah. But that's maybe because there's games going on, so they have to be on the single court. Maybe the women when they pull the court out, maybe they get big. They've only got one stander, right? Met's only got one stand on their big court, even when they get the full court out. I don't think they put a stand on the other side.
No, they don't, but they could.
Whereas Welsh Institute of Sport, I've been there. I've played in games where they've had both stands full, and it's amazing. I've been there to watch games.
You could fit 500 in Met.
Yeah, I'm sure you could. Yeah,
spectators comfortably. But my thing is this, right? It comes back to this now, which is the BBF or whatever. It's like if you don't have opportunities to play at a higher level, regardless, the players may be knocking on that door. And that's the problem. When you're knocking on the door, playing at a higher level, opportunities need to arise. Like when we put our under-16s International League last year, they got smoked. They finished middle of the table, but it took them half a season to get up to scratch. It's like our new squad that we've got in our men's National League. It's taken them half a season to find their identity, right? And
now we got guys returning.
And now we got a few guys returning. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Well, let's not comment on that.
Do you know what we need to do to answer these questions? We need to get someone on from Basketball Wales or from the Basketball Wales national team. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Get the questions answered.
Yeah.
A nice round table discussion.
Listen, I think the peak annoyance with Basketball Wales peaked around the BBL time when they entered the trophy. Since then,
for me, it peaked when they did that thing with the Barry game.
That wasn't Basketball Wales. That was South Wales.
It's all the same thing.
It's all the same. It's the same people.
It's the same thing.
You need to have better voices. You need to recognize where the talent is, and you need to focus on that. And
I think they're doing a better job now with the people that are getting in.
Yeah. Look,
Gavin Ryan. I don't know anyone but those two. I don't know the other people. Gavin Ryan.
Listen, I messaged Gav.
Good people to have doing this stuff.
I messaged Gav, and I'm not too whatever to admit this. I messaged Gav. I said, Gav, you know me. I will be critical of somebody if I don't agree with what they're doing. Right?
You will.
Because I can't see it. So either you're not getting a message out, or it's just wrong. Right? So maybe I don't see what the angles are. Right? But then that's on the NGB, who I pay my subs to articulate that, because it's not hard.
I agree with that.
Right? But I said to Gav, I was like, listen, fair play, because he'd just been re-elected or something like that as the CEO or interim CEO or something like that. And I was like, listen, you've done some amazing things over the last 6-12 months. Like, I want to tell you, like, I'm really happy that you're still involved. And I told Gav this, and I was like, and I know I can be a bit of a dick sometimes, or very direct, whichever way you want to call it. But they've done some amazing things over the last 3-4 years, right? And I think that from what I can understand, they just want to get as many kids playing as possible. But that doesn't help us when we've got a national team filled with what I perceive to be English players that I've never seen involved in any Welsh program, right? Now,
I think that's fair
enough.
For a lot of it.
There's not many opportunities to play for a Welsh program, right? But when we're in a position where we're like that, this is where we're at. Where do we go forward from here?
Yeah.
And it's the same with what the BBF has done. It's like you don't involve the teams, the clubs, the owners. You don't give them a voice, and everything else will fall apart. Because if we decide tomorrow to go insular, we're pretty insular anyway because we just focus on what we focus on. And Met does the same. The whole BW strategy is you know what I mean? What is the strategy? What's the next step? And I'm sure when we get Ryan on, he's going to tell us.
It sounds like an invitation to get Ryan or Gavin.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so it'd be good to talk Basketball Wales history. Gav, Ryan, get you guys in.
Obviously, anyone that we bring on here as well, though, or will grace us with their presence on here, we want to find out their beginnings in basketball and their journey, of course, as well. We'll be doing, of course, everyone we get in will be doing that kind of thing with. But yeah, sounds like
at some point we'll get around to my journey as well. But,
yeah, we will. We need to do that.
Yeah.
The uncensored version.
We removed it. We removed
FK chat after dark.
Yeah,
that'll have to be.
FK chat after dark. Get out the Oranje boom.
It sounds like, though, it'd be a good chance for people to come on and explain some of this stuff.
Look, like we can't continue having these conversations unless people engage and that's what they want to hear.
Exactly.
So like obviously you've got a whole bunch of messages. I've had several messages as well. We've got an email address which I'll put up on the screen now. So if you've got anything you want to talk about, put that in.
If anyone strongly disagrees with anything, the door is open.
Hey, listen, I don't think I've got all the answers. Like, again, what you got to remember is my viewpoint is, from 2000 up until 2026, right? So what's that, like 25, 26 years or whatever? This is my view on managing, running clubs and then seeing.
But we want to enable the discussion to start, though, don't we, as well? And even if it's just an open forum for ideas or whatever, you definitely want that.
Yeah, I think we need to get somebody in from BW. That would be good. I'd like to get in some people from it'd be a real honor to get somebody like Sam Netter in because he can bring in some stuff that's going on and we can put some of these questions to him regarding the BBF. My only thing with Basketball England right now is, and I said it to him last year, I said it the year before, they only focus on D1.
Yeah.
And very rarely focus on D2.
That's true.
The only time they focused on D2 was when Milton Keynes was on a run. But apart from that,
they don't. Standard of officiating, we need to improve.
Standard of officiating. I
know that is a level of focus, but
listen,
that's the most common complaint, Casey.
I've been refereeing seriously, maybe the last best part of 10 years. I say seriously, right?
Yeah.
And it is as a level 3 National League ref, it is difficult because players talk too much shit to the ref.
They do.
The coaches should know better, right? So best example is I was refereeing a college game.
Coaches do that too.
One of the refs,
myself included, of course.
One of the coaches was a level 4 ref,
right,
from London, and the attitude on this person was disgusting.
Right,
and they know how they should be. You know what I mean? Saying, "Oh, this shit level 1 refs."
Got you.
I think I was reffing with Cooper, and Cooper was like, I could just see from the warm up the way that this coach
got you.
That they were just going to be a problem. And I said that to him. And he was like, "Oh, they're a level 4 ref." Now Cooper's a level 2 ref, right? Cooper thinks he knows a lot more about the game than he does, right? I love Cooper to death, right? I love him to death.
Cooper hears this.
Coop,
listen to the pod, Cooper.
I love Coop to death.
Great player, great guy.
Coop is so he can be a really good ref, right?
I can't wait for Cooper's message when he sees this.
But Cooper, when he talks, when I'm reffing with him, I think, I'm just very honest. I was like, "Oh, okay, I didn't see that. Okay, maybe I was opposite." When you're a ref, it's like when you're playing basketball, you're going to make mistakes, right? It's going to happen. But you've got to call what you see. You've got to be in position. And Cooper is very much trying to talk to you, if you haven't got experience, okay, this is going to be like this. And I think he just needs to kind of bite his lip sometimes and just focus on his own game. He's a great ref, though. I think he's a good ref.
He cares, though. See, the most frustrating thing for me with referees, is when it seems like they're apathetic and they don't even want to be there and they're not even interested, which happens every other week, even at NBLD
Let me just defend that, right? Because I've got a resting bitch face when I referee.
No, it's not that.
No. And I've been told, "Oh, you don't look like you want to be there," and I'm like, "Well, I can't help how I look when I'm running." Do you know what I mean? That's just my face.
Yeah.
But it's referees in Welsh basketball, not Welsh basketball, in National League basketball, right? Let's just talk about that. Forget about local league because that's different again. But they get a lot of shit.
They
right?
do.
And coaches don't add to that because I don't believe that a lot of coaches know how to ref and are educated on things. I still get refs. A player will catch a ball on a fast break or whatever, and you get the extra step, and they don't know that rule. They don't know the rule that if a shot attempt has been made but it misses the basket and you catch the ball, that's and the referee can decide, if it is like obviously not trying to pass it yourself, but you catch it, it's like that's not a travel. Do you know what I mean? It's a legitimate shot attempt.
Yeah, it's a legal play.
I've still got referees at National League level arguing about this because they don't know the rules of the game. I'm not saying I've got it all. I'm not, right? So our highest level ref, or a ref that I really, really like, I'm like, you know what? I may disagree with his calls, but he'll be consistent. Is Gav Wills, right?
Gav Wills is really good.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's really good.
He's really good, right?
Never calls a travel. Never ever, unless it's super, super blatant, he will not call a travel.
He wants the game to flow, right?
Yeah.
He wants the game to flow and whatever. And like I've sat down with him in analysis games. He was like, "Oh, I was out of position. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I made mistakes. Refs make mistakes, right? But if you admit that to a coach is like, blah, 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 blah. Like it's not about positioning. Like this like when you're looking, your view has got to be like that, right? You're gonna miss.
Yeah, of course.
And then it's down on the baseline ref to make a call and stuff. And it's like we're gonna miss stuff. Right?
Of course, and you've got to call what you see and things will be missed.
But then it becomes frustrating because the level of unprofessionalism, that's not a word, but the lack of professionalism by some of these coaches when you're playing at National League level, I think like, look, if you're playing D1, South Wales Basketball Association, you should be aiming to be playing or at least carrying yourself as if you're a National League level team. Right?
Well,
because realistically, from D1, where else are you going to go? BW and National League.
Coaches got to be better when it comes to the refs and players.
Coaches have got to be way better, right?
They don't address the refs the right way. But I'm not talking about the referee's facial expression, though. I'm talking about sometimes when you try and interact with the ref earnestly without any kind of malice or aggression, sometimes they truly seem like they don't care.
Yeah.
I've had that in so many games this season, and like obviously calls go either way. Sometimes bad calls go against the other team too, and there's going to be disagreements. And coaches don't help themselves because let me tell you from the coach's perspective, sometimes you'll see the other coach will be on at the refs non-stop, and you know that deep down that is having a little bit of an effect. It's just human nature. So then the coaches are egging each other on almost to go at the refs. It's not good.
No. I listen. I'm not saying that you can't go. Oh, coach, wasn't he out of position? Or you can have a conversation, like, because I can't answer. Like, if I'm running back and forth, I'm trying to keep pace with 10 guys, right?
But you need the opportunity afterwards. But I can just tell you from my perspective as a player, I was never, ever, besides my first couple of coaches like Vic and Curtis Xavier, Matt Godfrey, besides those guys, I was never relying on a coach's training session to improve my basketball skills or the games.
Yeah.
I was improving in my own time. And if you want to be a player, that's how it's got to be. I knew I had to do that because physical talent, I was below every single person I ever played against right at the start. So I knew I had to do more time like that. But everyone got to do that if you really want to play. You can't be relying on a coach's session to get you better.
Yeah.
I would just like to see that they care a bit more sometimes, and it's just tough every single Sunday watching the game back and thinking, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?
Yeah.
This is a 3-point game and look at this. And like the Bristol Hurricanes game, the very last play of the game, granted, we were down
6.
No, we were down 4.
Yeah.
So we weren't down 3, we were down 4, but the player for us comes off the double screen and the guy literally is grabbed him around the neck. It's clear as day on the video, which is a foul when the ball hasn't even been inbounded yet. So what's that? 2 free throws and then our possession, or 1 free throw and then our possession? And you got,
sportsmen like to grab around the neck.
He literally grabbed him around the neck as he's coming off the screen. So we get the ball, we get a free throw, and then we get the ball back with a chance to tie it. And there's examples like that every weekend,
Like when you get to close games, I'm not justifying it, but you do miss those things because everybody's moving, everything's happening and stuff.
And I agree with the general perception and the general opinion of basketball players where the referee shouldn't decide the game. But then we go down to Plymouth a few weeks after this Hurricanes game, and the ref made 3 calls, the same referee, in the last 90 seconds, which were all fucking nonsense calls. And that was a game that was tied at that point. and finished 80, 77.
Yeah.
And he's made 3 calls in 90 seconds that you could have let all of them go, you know? So it's just so inconsistent. Love to the refs giving up their time. I used to ref a lot, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
That probably wasn't the best thing for me, because now I think I know it all with the referees when I'm talking to them.
But it's the same thing, right? It comes to coaches' education. It's like every year you should be, as a coach, you should be reviewing the rules and regulations, seeing what changes take place, understanding what a referee is going to do.
Yeah, you're right. Too much red tape though, but you're right.
No, but this is why when we do start, training sessions in the early days and stuff, I come in and say, look, these are all fouls.
Oh,
Right? Okay, you're playing defense. I'm seeing contact come in, but your hands are down. Right?
It's your duty to be up to date as a coach or player or referee on the rules.
If you don't know how the referees are going to call things, then you're going to constantly.
How could you possibly know? Because it ain't like the rule book is what the referees go on.
Well, no, Well, this is this.
You get 2 different referees every week.
We went down to Worthing, right? We were playing against Worthing.
They didn't call shit, but at least they didn't call shit either way.
No, the first half they were calling madness, right? In the first quarter, now as much as I used to.
Zaire Taylor, he would have fouled out in 10 minutes if they called fouls on him.
Zaire Taylor, shout out Zaire Taylor.
Shout out Zaire, class, great guy, class player.
Listen, the first quarter,
no foul.
The lady who was refereing, she was
Grace, nice lady,
very good, right? The other ref, it looked like it was his first game.
Yeah, he was an apprentice, I think.
Yeah, without doubt. This guy was out of position, making inappropriate calls from like the other side of the court, like from baseline to baseline. He was trying to make calls, and he, you know what I mean. And so I try not to shout like I used to, because obviously I'm getting older and stuff. But if I see a ref totally out of position making an incorrect call consistently, and it's not just being out of position, but it's the wrong call.
There's so much focus on the rules, and there's no room for nuance. So how is it not more consistent? If all we're fucking focused on is the rules.
Basketball Wales massive.
It should be consistent.
Massive props, because we've got some great high-level refs here, right? We've got Dave, we've got Gabs, both the Gabs, we've got Ross, we've got Emily, we've got a whole bunch over in Met as well. I think I don't know actually anybody. Maybe Sam Gilbert, although he's not a Met anymore, but he's maybe still involved.
I don't want to say nothing because I don't want to.
But these guys. But what I'm saying is, it's like when you go to these ref conferences that they have online or whatever, they talk about the nuance, they talk about the speed of the game, they talk about, you know what I mean, like ticky-tack fouls.
They talk about the nuance. There's no room for nuance ever when you're dealing with this stuff.
I think so. I mean, at least that's how I ref, and it's based off of regular feedback and commentary with the guys in the BW, right? And it's like, okay, how do we do this game, right? Okay, or we want the flow of the game. All right, well, they'll give you different scenarios. Where's the foul here? And I think that is something that is developing, because I think there's a lot more new refs coming in because of the fact that it's, I come back to it again. If the opportunities aren't there,
yeah, and it's
to
not
play,
easy.
Referee, table at a higher level, then how are we going to get them to that level?
Refereeing is incredibly difficult as well. I'll give it. I've refereed games at National League and stuff. It is really fucking hard, in my opinion. It's not easy whatsoever. But there's not enough consistency week to week and quarter to quarter in NBL.
That's a good point to stop, I think.
I don't want to end on a negative, but yeah, you're right. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, thanks to anybody that listens.
I'll chop it up.
We'll chop it up. Yeah. Guys, if you've got any questions, any feedback, please comment. We'll answer them in the next pod.
Send us an email. Use our socials to communicate with us, because it helps, guys.
And if you think that you would be a good guest to come on and be interesting, please reach out. I've tried to get a fair few people on. Lots of people have said yes. Lots of people are worried that they're going to get cancelled.
Listen, opinions are like arseholes. Everybody's got one, yeah?
Exactly.
So we're not saying we're right or we're wrong on
Hell
this.
no.
But I think we can come at it we can make educated assumptions, opinions, thought processes, because we've been involved in it for so long.
And we all love basketball. So
yeah.
If they're watching this, they love it too.
Basketball doesn't love us.
But we love basketball.
Yeah.
And if anyone does come on, it'll be nothing but love. It'll be a nice discussion like this.
Yeah, we're not trying to be controversial for the sake of being controversial. Yes. It's just a general conversation about what we can do, how we can develop it. So for me, just to summarize, I think the focus should be Cardiff and the Southeast and the talent pool we got here because we got the biggest population centre. Simple as that. Then you can have another one over in Swansea, one in Mid Wales, and then 2 up north, right? 2 down south, 1 in the middle. So you've got different sort of areas to go. But yeah, let's see what happens. Please let us know if you have any questions, as Ben has pointed out.
Yeah, feedback. Feedback's great.
Feedback's really good. We're going to post this first to YouTube. But let us know, do you prefer us posting it to YouTube? Where do you consume most of this information? YouTube or Spotify? They'll be on both, but it's going on YouTube first, and then in a couple of days we'll upload it to Spotify as well. And we hopefully should have a guest for the next episode.
Nice.
We did try for today, but it kind of
scheduling conflicts, you know.
Scheduling conflicts.
But yeah. and respect to anybody out there giving up their time as well, even if we haven't been so complimentary of you.
Yeah, no, we haven't been disrespectful of anybody. I think the most controversial thing that everybody's going to bang on about is basically me saying, or us agreeing, that if you play for the Welsh team, you should have a tie to the Welsh national thing. And it can't just be that you lived here for X amount of years.
I still got that Barry thing in my head. I can't get over it. That bullshit forfeit loss they give us, brother.
Anyway, much love to all of you hoopers out there.
Yes, love to the hoopers.
Oh, there's one guy who's posting a whole bunch of stuff, but I think he needs to have some history lessons on the game. There's a guy called Frank Talk Sport. He's plays for the college. He's posting on Instagram, doing some YouTube. He plays for their first team. He's on their court.
Shout out to this guy. This is the first I've heard about this.
No, he's a nice guy. He's a really nice guy. He's doing like some stuff with like YouTube.
Nice.
Trying to get like basketball going and stuff.
Cool.
But I think that's the level of positivity, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the old guard needs to make room. I'm not saying the old guard needs to go. I'm saying they need to make room for these younger ideas, because the bigger your talent pool, the better the opinions, the options, the ideas that come out of it.
We need the old guard right here, documenting the history as well. We don't want them to go. We just want them to make room for everybody. It's all love. You're the old guard, man. Anyway, I'm nearly the old guard.
Yeah, am I the old guard? Nah, there's people who've been doing it, like Tony Hinchy, man. He's been doing
it. Fair. Yeah.
Chris
love to Tony Hinchy, legend, Tony.
Chris Horrocks,
shout out.
Chris Harper, all the Chris's. Yeah.
Shout
out. I think it'd be good. But yeah, if you fancy jumping on, you know what I mean?
Reach out, guys.
Amazing. All right. See you at the next one, guys.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Cheers.